Hi FPL players, and welcome to DJ Living's Fantasy Premier League. Right folks, we're down to it now. There's only 1 week left until the World Cup starts, so this will be the last one for a few weeks. Then I'll put on next week's, because if you're watching the other videos in this channel, we're just about to move. We're just about to go on holiday, then we're about to move. So the next couple of weeks are going to be hectic. So this will be a good point for me to take a couple of weeks break. The next week coming up, week 16, will be in a couple of weeks' time, and also I'll have a little rundown of how the World Cup's going and stuff like that. So that's another video. Anyway, let's crack on with this week's week 15's look at the Fantasy Premier League. So we have an Adam Anderson. I think he's been at the top near the start of the season. He's got 56 points and he's 865 point total. 1 point ahead of myself, who's a further 1 point ahead of Gary Britton. So 2 points in the top three at the moment, and only 10 points behind myself is a George Vasilakis. Green Guns, he got 63 points this week, and then Shrees Magloob got 87 points. He was the highest scorer of the week for 847 to put himself up into 5th place. There's been a few moves about this week. Only a handful of people are staying where they are, but it's been an interesting start. At the bottom of the table, Chris Conway, sorry to say, 38 points this week with 532 points in total, 26 points off the next best place. 37 teams in the league at the moment. Can't remember where we started the season, but I'm sure it was around about 32 we actually opened the season with. Like I said, only 1 week left now until the mid-season break, so we'll see where we stand. And also, just remembering off the top of my head, the FPL have announced that there's going to be unlimited transfers during the World Cup break up until, I think it's like December 24th or something like that, because the next round of fixtures in the Premier League will be the Boxing Day fixtures. So I think it's free transfers for about 3 or 4 week period while the World Cup's on. So it's a time to get your moves done. Annoyingly enough, I used my wild card last week to make numerous more than one transfer. I think I had 5 transfers. Could have saved that for another week. It was a bit of a disastrous one anyway. Most of my transfers didn't work out. But anyway, let's crack on and look at last weekend's fixtures. So we started off with a cracking game. Leeds against Bournemouth. Bournemouth were 3-1 up, and Leeds managed to pull it back to 4-3. What a game! I'd love to have seen that one. Man City 2-1. For those that watched the game, Man City were very lucky. Cancelo was sent off. They were 1-0 until late in injury time, when Haaland, who come off the bench, Haaland managed to nick a penalty. Very dubious one at that. Forest 2-2 against Brentford. I thought that would be a low scoring one, so 2-2 was a bit unpredicted. Wolves 2, Brighton 3. Wolves have scored a couple of goals. That makes a change. They're still the lowest scorers in the league though. Everton 0, Leicester 2. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal managed another win, so they look like they're going to be top going into the mid-season break. But we shall see what happens this weekend. Aston Villa 3, Manchester United 1. Here comes the bad Man United again. Southampton 1, Newcastle 4. That's 2 games in a row where Newcastle have scored 4 goals. West Ham 1, Palace 2. Spurs 1, Liverpool 2. Disappointing result for myself. That made the 37 goals and only 2 clean sheets this week. So there's only Arsenal and Leicester kept clean sheets. So while I say that, let's look at the players that I picked to watch this week. So we'll start off with the Leicester goalkeeper. Ward in goal got 6 points, and he is in the team of the week, which you'll see later on. So that was a very good pick for myself there. Then I picked Dalot from Manchester United. He'd had some good weeks recently, but obviously they conceded 3 goals. Dalot ended up with 0 points. Midfield, I put Rodrigo from Leeds in there. He got an assist, played really well, evidently. I think he got 1 or 2 bonus points, and he ended up with 7 points. So I'm reasonably pleased with that for midfield. And up front, Newcastle, I picked Wilson from Newcastle. Newcastle scored 4 goals. Wilson managed 1 point. So as per the last couple of weeks, 2 good players, 2 bad players. So, 50% record every time. I'm quite pleased with that. So that's the players I said to watch out for. Right, so the top players at the moment, Haaland 122, Kane 91, Trippier 89 for the best defender in the league at the moment, De Bruyne 88 for the best midfielder, Almiron 87, and Mo Salah 80 points after a 2-goal game. After what most people would say is a very poor season for Salah, he's still in that top 7 or 8 players in the FPL. So, without further ado, we shall look at the team of the week. So as I said previously, starting off in goal with Leicester goalkeeper Ward, 6 points. Defence, Gabriel Arsenal got 15 points. Trippier got 12 points for Newcastle. Digne for Aston Villa got 10 points, and Saliba for Arsenal got 8 points. Arsenal, 2 defenders in that team of the week this week. Great performance from Arsenal. Midfield, you're looking at Tavernier from Bournemouth. Although they lost 4-3, Tavernier managed a 16-point haul. Salah got 15 points in his 2 goals against Tottenham. And Aaron Ramsey for Aston Villa, a name we don't see very often, 14 points this week. So he had a very good game. Up front, we had Greenwood from Leeds and Alvarez for Man City getting 9 points. Alvarez, one of very few starts this season. And we finished the team off with 8 points for Harry Kane in the losing game against Liverpool, but he still managed to go. So week 16's fixtures we got to look forward to finish off this first half. We start off with Man City against Brentford. I think that's an easy Man City win. Brentford have played well in fits and starts this season so far, but Man City are just too dominant. Bournemouth-Everton could be an interesting game. Both teams have had their struggles this season so far, but could be an entertaining one. Liverpool-Southampton. Let's see if you get the Liverpool who played against Tottenham or the Liverpool that played against Forest and Leeds in the previous 2 weeks before that. Nottingham Forest against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have been doing reasonably well. They've had a couple of wins recently, and Patrick Vieira's got them playing some really good football, so that could be an interesting one at Palace at Forest. Spurs Leeds. I'm hoping that Spurs can bounce back from a couple of poor results recently, and poor performances more than results, to be honest with you, and get a win there at Leeds against Leeds. West Ham Leicester. Anybody's guess. Both teams have been disappointing for them and struggling a little bit really. Newcastle Chelsea. This is probably my pick of the games fixtures this week. Newcastle obviously flying quite high at the moment, and they're looking to really solidify top 4 position at the moment. And Chelsea under Graham Potter do look improved, but not quite on the ball yet. I think they're missing that striker up front. So then we go to Wolves Arsenal. Should be an easy game for Arsenal this one, but Wolves are at home, so you never know. Brighton against Aston Villa. Brighton can Brighton keep powering on for the rest of the season without Potter? And Fulham Manchester United to finish with. Obviously Fulham very up and down. Manchester United, who knows what Manchester United is going to come out and perform this week, but we shall see. So the players to watch this week. I'm starting off in goal with Aaron Ramsdale. Not really a big surprise at Arsenal goalkeeper. Away to Wolves, they've only scored 8 goals in total, and 2 of them were last weekend. And he is only 4.9 million, which isn't a bad for a goalkeeper of Ramsdale's calibre. Then in defence, following on from that, I've got Gabriel. Obviously, he was in the team of the week this week. 5.1 million for a defender. Really good value for there, I think, in Gabriel. In midfield, I've got Gross from Brighton, 5.6 million. He scored 2 in last 2 games, so he could be on for another goal there, home to Villa, so that could be an interesting game. And finish off with a £5.7 million striker, good value, Dominic Solanke. He's done reasonably well recently. They're home to Everton, and like I say, there could be a game where Bournemouth really try and push on and get 3 points to finish this first half of the season. So they're my 4 to watch: Ramsdale, Gabriel, Gross and Solanke. Right folks, as I say, that's probably it for the next couple of weeks. You'll see me again talking to you about the Week 16 games and looking at the first half of the season, maybe having a little bit chat about the World Cup and England's squad, as it hasn't been picked. Well, it would have been picked by the time this goes up, but it's not been picked while I'm recording this, so that should be an interesting one to look out for. So I might discuss that a little bit, and potentially the first couple of games from the World Cup, but we shall see how it goes. And then we'll look forward in the weeks after that. There may be another short break before looking forward to the second half of the season and seeing how this Fantasy Premier League turns out. So take care of yourselves. I hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy your football if you're watching any, and keep an eye on your FPL players and see if you can knock up a few more points and a few more places in this league. Take care guys, and see you soon.